This is a country that's built by immigrants. My dad is an immigrant.
I used to be a Reagan Republican.
Whether someone is claiming asylum or not, Trump is treating them all the same. I mean, he just deported a 2-year-old U.S. citizen.
We've got a Piers Morgan panel to hop into with a rather heated debate that we're going to debunk the MAGA members for their misinformation. So first, if you can, leave us a like. It helps the video, helps the channel out a ton, and let's otherwise hop into the panel.
I think that the way that Trump is treating immigrants, this is a country that's built by immigrants. My dad is an immigrant.
These are people pouring in illegally in their millions over the southern border.
There are people that are seeking asylum, and we need to
Well, they're not all seeking asylum. You know that, Kat.
No,
come on. You
bullshit.
don't think... You genuinely think 10 million...
We literally just
well, hang on, just to be clear, you genuinely think nearly 10 million...
in El Salvador
hang on,
being
Kat.
shipped to a concentration in El Salvador.
Kat, we're not talking about the ones being shipped to prisons in El Salvador. We're talking about the reportedly 10 million people who came over the southern border in the Biden administration. You think they're all genuine asylum seekers?
I think that we don't have a good enough asylum process, and there are plenty that are claiming asylum, and it doesn't matter whether someone is claiming asylum or not. Trump is treating them all the same. I mean, he just deported a 2-year-old U.S. citizen back to Honduras who is being treated for cancer. And that's the problem here, is when it comes to our border issues, we are focusing on it's treated so broadly.
It actually hinders real progress from being made on the issues that exist in our immigration system because instead of addressing them, you have MAGA stating that the problem is us having an open border under Biden, despite Biden both deporting more immigrants than Trump ever did and having a higher rate of catching and deporting migrants than Trump. Where the real issue with our immigration system is asylum and visa, where COVID first made the socioeconomic conditions around the globe even worse. Obviously, more people then are going to want to migrate to America, which only highlighted these problems that exist in our system. This is why when you look at any chart on immigration, the spike starts in 2019, stunts when travel stops during COVID, but then spikes back up and continues all throughout 2020 under Trump's presidency, where the only party with the solution to this was the Democrats. Biden tried to pass legislation in his first week, the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. Republicans killed it. He tried again in 2023, the bipartisan border bill. Trump killed it. But they'd rather fearmonger on this than actually fix it because it's one of the last few political issues they still poll all right on.
I used to be a Reagan Republican, all right? I believed that we were a shining city on a hill. I believed that we were a place where people should want to come if they're fleeing oppression. If we're talking about these Venezuelans in particular, they're in a communist country where they are being persecuted by a communist dictator. And I think that we should have an orderly process where people should be able to come from Venezuela to this country to be refugees like so many have before, like all of us have who came to America. That is what is unique about America. That's what makes America special, is that everyone except for the Native Americans came here because they were looking for opportunity, because they were fleeing someplace else. And we created a system that was obviously totally out of control. And so bringing some control to that system is fine. But that doesn't mean 0 people come in. I'm not happy about that. I want Venezuelans freeing communism to be able to come here.
Spot on, but MAGA truly wants to take it a step further to where their goal is stopping immigration, period. At least from the brown immigrants. I mean, it's racial motivations, and you see this in Trump's actions. Why else would he wipe away legal immigration status with the stroke of a pen from Venezuelans and Haitians? Why would he do that? Turning them from legal, on the books, tax-paying, working immigrants to undocumented because, well, he wants to. They came here legally. They did it all right. They hadn't committed any crimes, which is what Republicans pretended that they wanted from immigrants. I mean, what we really need is more judges and lawyers to help process these asylum claims, these work visas, so we don't get the backlogs we do. It's that simple. And the only party that was going to do it is Democrats. Trump killed it. They have no solutions for this issue.
Steve Bannon goes out and says, I am a Trump supporter. No one at NBC or Axios or Politico or anywhere else goes out and says I'm a Biden supporter. I saw Jake Tapper a few weeks ago say I'm not on the left, and I sat there with my jaw on the ground. The fact is, they believe that they are actually moderates. They believe they're telling the American people the truth, and they believe they're getting away with murder because they continue to throw their own bias into everything else that they report. The American people are not stupid. What is sad is that the journalists in our country believe that they are. They believe they can tell them how to vote and how to feel, and they will not be able to do the research for themselves. Donald Trump is not worried about victories in the media because he knows the American people not only elected him to do what he's doing, but can figure out what he's doing without, reading through a couple of headlines in the mainstream media. So no, I don't think he's worried about scoring a few wins because he believes he's scoring the exact wins he was elected to score.
Okay, well, first, it's because none of the companies she mentioned are inherently on the left, and they're not Democrat media as they'd love to portray them as, but Steve Bannon is literally a Trump propagandist. For instance, CNN, MSNBC, all of those liberal media, woke news, whatever the right wants to call it, ran wall-to-wall 6-week coverage on Biden has dementia. Despite him giving multiple speeches fine, talking to reporters fine, negotiating a historic hostage deal, all of that. They ran Biden dementia for 6 weeks. They ran Trump convicted for felonies for 6 days. Literally, you can go check. I followed, I covered every day of the trial, and 6 days after his conviction, it was no longer news on these places. But yeah, they're all against Trump and want to do all this. Yeah, I mean, it's so biased. I just love that these clowns hate that mainstream media objectively reports on Trump. That's legitimately all it is. They can never point to any actually like real fake news or stories that they lied about. It's just things that disprove their worldview. Like, oh, well, mainstream media supported the COVID vaccine. Objectively the correct position. Well, the mainstream media said Russia, Russia, Russia. Objectively the correct position. Mainstream media won't say that Democrats stole the 2020 election. Objectively the correct position. Like, they literally can't point to a story that is actually false outside of their propagandist worldview that they've bought into because they're in a cult. And again, what gives the game away here is that all of their gripes with news has to do with reporting on Trump. Oh, you mean to tell me that all the fake news, and they are trying to tell you that all the fake news revolves around Trump because it's part of this conspiracy that all politicians or all Democrats and all Republicans that disagree with Trump, all institutions, every judge, every attorney general, all media, they're all against Trump. All the economists, they're all against Trump. So we can't trust any of them. And what we can trust is what Trump told us to believe. So what they're doing is again, everybody hates something, which, come on.